If you're watching this channel, it's because you don't enjoy watching the world squander what Christendom built, but you want to do your part. And chances are you've heard me mention a great means by doing just that. Email made by and for Catholics. Check out fidei.email. That's FIDEI.email. Built for Catholic individuals, families, organizations, and groups. They're private, secure, and of course, they're Catholic. And they're offering 2 months off on your first year for an annual subscription if you enter the coupon code Return to Tradition without spaces. That's the name of this channel, without spaces, at checkout. Last week, I told you about how the Synod on Synodality has gotten so boring that few people are even paying attention to it anymore. And not only are few people paying attention to it anymore, the journalists who are supposed to cover it for the secular and Catholic media have largely ignored it. They don't show up to the press conferences in the Vatican anymore. Yes, a few still do, but mostly the press pool is now empty. It's remarkable, but it's still a circus. But the real entertainment, the real circus, is what's happening outside the Synod. You see, outside the Synod, a group of heretics are meeting in protest of the Vatican to protest rigid Francis. Yeah, rigid clericalist Francis, because he will not ordain women. Because he has said repeatedly no. And because the Vatican itself, under the guise of Cardinal Victor Manuel Fernandez, has said no repeatedly. He issued a document just recently saying that the Vatican cannot come up with an excuse to ordain women. But maybe someday somebody will, but until then, the ordination of deaconesses is off the table. He left room for non-ordained deaconesses, which Francis has said in the past, which is probably how this is going to start to happen. First, a non-ordained deaconess who has a sort of a ceremony that looks suspiciously like ordination, but strictly speaking is not. That's probably how this will play out. But that's not good enough. You see, there is a heretical organization meeting outside of Rome. This heretical organization has the laughable name of the Association of Roman Catholic Women Priests. Yes, it's an association of an oxymoron, because you can't have that. It's a metaphysical impossibility. The Church has ruled on this the few times it's had to rule on it rather definitively. I say rather definitively because, unfortunately, the time in the 1990s when John Paul II made his ruling that said no, he used language that came close to being the invocation of papal infallibility on the decision, but didn't quite get there. Post-conciliar era is characterized in this sort of hesitation by the pontiffs to invoke infallibility on these things. Paul VI in Humanae Vitae also did not invoke papal infallibility. Now, you might think that in those cases he shouldn't have to, because he's just repeating the timeless teachings of the Church, but here we are in an age of ongoing revolution in society and in the culture and in the Church, and it would be good to have some definitive statements made by the Pope. This organization are holding a counter-protest outside, or a protest if you want to call it such. What they're protesting, or their method for protesting, is to ordain women priests outside the Synod of Synodality. They're essentially committing sacrilege, because to ordain these priests means that they have somebody with valid holy orders doing the ordaining. So there's a sacrilege going on. It's a sacrilege by misuse of the sacraments, probably through a schismatic priest from an independent, hyper-progressive kind of schismatic group of some kind. Think of one of the old Romans or something. They're doing this, and they're doing this as a protest against the Synod for not giving into the spirit of the age. So let's go to their press release so we can see their logic. It was posted on a website called bridgetmarys.blogspot.com, and it was also a link to it was posted on the actual Association of Roman Catholic Women Priests website. Why they didn't just put it on their website instead of posting it on some random blogspot website, I don't know. But this is actually from this organization. So the release was on the 24th of September. This didn't make the news until cath.net, the German LifeSite News equivalent website, posted this themselves and had a good laugh at their expense. So here is the actual press release. Association of Roman Catholic Women Priests to ordain priests and deacons from Spain, France, and U.S. in historic ordination in Rome on October 17th, 2024, to foster equality of the flesh and ordained ministry in a church for everyone. While Vatican officials have taken a decision about the ordination of women deacons off the agenda of the Synod on Synodality in October 2024, we come to Rome to ordain 3 women priests, Belén Rapizo Carrillo from Spain, and Anne Latour and Mary Catherine Daniels from the United States, and 3 deacons, Lone Rocher from France, Maria Teresa Ribeiro Rosa, and Zux Garcia Pascual from Spain, in Rome on October 17, 2024. We come to Rome to offer hope to Catholics around the globe that women priests and deacons are here now, available to serve a renewed, emerging church of equals. We ask Pope Francis to engage in a, quote, conversation in the Spirit, and to remove all barriers that excommunicate those who answer the Spirit's call to ordination. Since 2002, the International Roman Catholic Women Priest Movement has been living our vocation in prophetic obedience to the Spirit by ordaining women as deacons, priests, and bishops, contra legem, against Canon Law 1024 to foster the full equality of all who are called to ordained ministries. Women priests serve inclusive communities of equals, in which all, including divorced and remarried, the James Martin crowd, are invited to receive sacraments. There are more than 270 persons located in 14 countries who have been ordained in this worldwide movement. Due to limited space at our venue, the media must register and receive confirmation in order to attend the ceremony. Interviews with the ordinands can be scheduled before or after the ordination. To make arrangements, contact information is below. And if you really want to contact them, it's up there on your screen for you. I would please, however, be civil if you're going to do that. And I'm not encouraging anybody to get ordained by these people. So I do take that back. The schismatic, there might be a schismatic bishop there who's doing it, but if it's a bishopette, a lady bishop, then there's no ordination happening because she doesn't have the office or the ability to confer sacraments on them. They're just play acting the sacraments there, and for the rest of their lives, they will be play acting the sacraments whenever they offer the Mass or hear a confession or offer the viaticum or any of the rest of them. They're just play acting. But in their play acting, they're still committing a sacrilege. They're still insulting God in a most deep and profound level. But yes, on October 17th, these people are going to ordain a bunch of people who can't be ordained, probably with the help of someone who isn't actually ordained, even though they thought they were, and thus doesn't have the option to ordain anybody else. And they're going to do this in protest to one of the most pointless exercises the church has undergone in some time. A pointless exercise that looks like it's trying to bring in a new church. That's what they're doing. And you know what? Let them have it. And you know why? Because the Synod on Synodality is a grotesque parody of an actual council of the church. It is potentially the evil council, hinted at in some prophecies from approved mystics and other sources in the church. It could very well be that. But judging from the documents the Synod has issued already and Francis's response to it, it's unlikely that the Pope is going to do anything positive in the eyes of the modernists with their weird recommendations. But you never know. And that's part of the joy of being a Catholic today. You just never know what kind of nonsense Rome is going to push with the full-throated support of the Pope. That's the joy of our time. It could very well be that his response will be to create a non-ordained diaconate for women. Not that there is ever a need for that, because women already do quite a lot in the church, and the ones who tend to do the most in the church at the ground level tend to have a lot more authority than people give them credit for. But I'm curious, are you surprised that there's a group of essentially delusional activists engaging in the play acting of the sacraments planned for the 17th of October? Does that surprise you in any way? Let me know in the comments, please. Hey, like and subscribe if you haven't. It certainly helps. So does sharing this on social media. That helps a lot too. And as always, pray for the church. I'm Anthony Stine. Ave Maria.